I was told that taking JJ McCarthy would turn this franchise around. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll get to it in a second, obviously, because I have a lot to say about that team and a lot about my Chargers. But welcome to Shot of Sports, and welcome to the Friday edition with Nas. We got Jalen and David here. Please subscribe to us. We are going to talk about some fun stuff today. We got a lot to talk about, guys. We got baseball coming up tonight, the World Series, the greatest player ever, Ohtani, going up against the 1 seed Blue Jays in the AL. We got Thursday night football recap of the Chargers completely dominating what seemed like an irresponsible game to start Carson Wentz that entire game. And then you got probably the best opening weekend or week of the NBA so far this decade for sure that we've had. And as far as I can remember, what is probably the best opening weekend with all these 40-point and, breakout games. But please subscribe, hit the like button. This is Shot of Sports. Guys, how are we doing? I know you guys are excited about some baseball talk later with the World Series. You guys are both baseball heads, but how are we doing? I know Jalen started his Jazz job back up, beating the Clippers off of Game 1. Man, that's tough. That's tough. The Tyronn Lue, get it together, bro.
I'll be right. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys David, better not trade Walker Kessler, man. I know he's been in trade talks for a while. That man was getting every board, man. But I'm doing
I was
good,
clowning
man.
my friend. I was clowning my friend for taking Walker Kessler actually in the 4th round.
He's good, man. He's good. He just fantasy wise too. I mean, he's like basically like just a guaranteed double at this point. Like him and Filipowski play off each other really well because Filipowski's more of like a stretch big and Kessler's like one of those more traditional like bang and bruiser, like down in the paint type of centers. So I like what's going on in Utah a lot right now, man. Keontae George is tough as hell. Collier's going to take another step. Bailey.
Too bad you got rid of Collins.
Yeah, he was. I don't think he was. He would have took time away from Bailey.
He didn't really fit either. In my opinion,
he doesn't really fit the timeline. He's like 29, I think.
Yeah.
That would be old for the Jazz. That's a vet.
Is Lauri Markkanen, did he play well the other day? I didn't really check his stats.
Yeah,
like that.
He played very well. Yep,
that's good.
He sure did.
Well,
yeah. I mean, it's very exciting to see that those guys had how good they look. They've been talking about it in practice. I can't disclose too much information, but they've talked about that they're going to really try hard this year. They're going to really try to, make a push this season for sure. Because obviously, if we do give up, if we do fall like at 9, I believe we have to give the pick to OKC. So we would lose out a first-round pick if we're not in the top 8. But that's fine because you have a team already that you want to build around already. You have a team that you have a young team. You have two young guards. You have a franchise player that's supposed to be turning into a superstar. So I don't think you really need another top 8 pick, in my opinion. Obviously, it hurts to not have your first-round pick, but they have so many picks in the future as well that, they look pretty good. So look a lot different than last year.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I agree 100%. I think, like, in terms of, like, the rebuild process, sometimes where teams, like, tend to get a little bit lost is that, like, at some point you gotta transition from, like, stockpiling draft assets and, like, getting young players to actually, like, advancing the timeline a little. That's one of the problems I have with the Wizards is that I think the Wizards have, like, a lot of really nice young players like Sarr, Carrington, Keyshawn George, Koulibaly. They just got Trey Johnson. Yeah, but it's like there's only one ball, and it's like they traded for Cam Whitmore. They got AJ John or no, not is it AJ
Johnson?
Yeah. Like at some point, like some of these guys, like they're just not going to get burned. Yeah, they got a lot of guards. So I like that mentality from Utah a lot. Like they're embracing the fact that they need to, like, start to consider, like, when are we going to actually start trying to contend again? Because you can't just be stuck in that rebuild phase forever. So I like that a lot.
They only have Sarr at center and I think Marvin Bagley had like the backup, but that's not.
I forgot about Marvin Bagley.
Damn. But yeah, man. Look, we're gonna get into some baseball or basketball talk in a little bit. Today with a little bit of Thursday night football recap. I just have a lot to say about this Vikings team. Obviously, the Chargers are the Chargers, and shout out 5th round pick tight end rookie, looking absolutely like a stud, look like a young Antonio Gates out there. Beautiful, love to see that. But look, I just want to start off by saying this, bro. The Vikings had Sam Darnold, right? And obviously, they drafted J.J. McCarthy last year. They had 2 first-rounders, and they used it on him and I believe DJ Turner or something like that. When they could have
Dallas Turner, the edge from
my bad. Dallas Turner, and they could have picked who's the kid on the Rams? God, I always forget his name.
Jared Verse.
They could have picked Jared Verse, and they could have drafted a different quarterback from JJ McCarthy. Now, JJ McCarthy, he played great the first games that he had. He started off a little slow in the Bears game, but just drafting him right now, I don't think the Vikings would do it again. If they can go back right now and take different picks on both of those first round picks, they would do it. I genuinely believe they would do it because JJ McCarthy hurt right away. Start Sam Darnold the whole year. You're looking great. Okay, the Vikings love their pieces around them, but they don't have any pieces to lead them for the next 10 years. They don't have their franchise quarterback. The Chargers and the Vikings are the complete opposite. They love their quarterback on the Chargers. They don't really too much care about their weapons besides the O-line and the running backs and the tight ends. The wide receivers come last in a Harbaugh offense. Everybody knows that, but they love the quarterback. The Vikings on the other side are very opposite. They love their weapons. They love JJ. They love Addison. They love Aaron Jones. They love Hockenson. They love their left tackle. They love all those pieces on defense, but they don't have a guy to lead them the rest of the way. And Carson Wentz was irresponsibly put out there last night. He was hurt. It wasn't even a fair chance. So I don't understand what they're doing at their quarterback position. I know JJ's hurt, but he looked like he could have played last night. I hate to say it. I genuinely believe he looked like he could have played last night. They're waiting for him to be 100%, but you don't have that time span anymore. You're in the hardest division in football. I don't understand what the plan is over there. I think the Vikings are a little messy right now at quarterback. Only putting up 10 points with the best wide receiver in the league, some may say, and one of the second best wide receivers. One of the best number 2s in the league, and Jordan Addison, and then you got Hockenson and Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. You got all those guys, but you're not doing anything. 10 points is unacceptable. So that's just my little rant about the Vikings. I'm not a Vikings fan, but just their draft just never makes sense anymore when it comes to quarterbacks. And I don't think JJ McCarthy is really living up to the standard. I know you're a big fan of him, David, but I just I'm not seeing the vision right now. I'm really not.
Well, I think a little bit of context has to be provided. First of all, I agree with what you said about Wentz. After he went down clutching his shoulder like that, I don't understand why he went back into the game. I mean, I understand you don't really want to roll out a rookie like when Max Brosmer, who was the backup from UNC last year, but I don't really think it seems pretty detrimental to put a guy that can barely even raise his right arm. You saw that big ass cast or sling he had on it. I don't really know why he went out there afterwards to begin with. It was clear that there was something wrong with his throwing motion. And it did look like JJ was healthy enough to play. Now, as coming from someone who has had a slew of ankle injuries in the past, I know that it kind of depends on your stepping motion. I broke my ankle. I got Zaza Pachulia my senior year of high school, and it sucked, man. Because there were sometimes I would walk on it and it'd be fine, and then other times I wouldn't even be able to stand. So I've heard that McCarthy was nearing a return, but it was ultimately a team decision to hold him out. Apparently he wanted to play, but O'Connell and the medical staff ultimately came to the decision that he shouldn't. But it doesn't look great. I agree with you. It doesn't look great optics wise. When you see him, standing up, clapping, it looks pretty healthy to me. But in terms of like whether it was the right pick or not, I think it's a little too early to judge whether or not they should have. I mean, obviously, Bo Nix looks really, really good 2 picks later. But, it's different situation, like a lot of factors go into something like that. And I'm not going to judge somebody based off of what's essentially been, 2 starts of football. Now, I think obviously I want to be unbiased here and say that he's basically played 1 good quarter of football out of the first 8. He looked really bad against the Falcons, who underratedly have one of the best defenses in the league, I think. I mean, those 2 rookie edges, Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., have been game wreckers up until this point. They got a really nice secondary led by A.J. Terrell, but he looked bad in that game. He looked bad for the first couple quarters against the Bears. Obviously, that 4th quarter, everything changed, but he's the type of guy where I'm not going to write him off until I give him, enough time to prove that he can do what he can do, because that's a guy who's just won at every single level. He's only lost 3 games entirely since he was a senior in high school, and he's extremely coachable, and he's somebody that I think, we'll know if he's, if he does bust, which I'm not saying it's impossible, but we'll know by the time the season is over or next season. But I think it's a little too early after 2 games to make those kind of calls personally.
Jalen, any words on JJ?
I just said that he wasn't a first round pick, in my opinion, when the draft happened. But I mean, then again, he's still a rookie, even though he was drafted. What was it, last season?
Yeah.
He still got a lot of growing pains, a lot of things to work on. But we'll see what happens. I didn't really watch too much of the game last night because we had a game ourselves, I believe, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, I mean, the hockey team did well yesterday. So, but other than that, I didn't really watch too much of it. But I did see Carson Wentz I did see some of the highlights where Carson Wentz was looking on the sideline like, I'm not gonna say he was upset, but he was like tired of being hit or something like that. Someone said so.
Yeah,
and they're definitely in a struggle right now.
See, here's my thing. This is why I said that I don't like the pick anymore. I didn't like it in the first place. I'll be honest. I think they really should have just gone with Sam Darnold because that's what they picked up in the offseason anyways. But the reason is, like you saw last year, that they were in win now. 14-3, like we're gonna compete with the Lions. We're gonna beat the Packers twice. We're gonna embarrass the Bears. We're gonna go compete with the Lions and go get a Super Bowl. Obviously, they didn't do that because there were a lot of issues that happened towards the end of that year. Lost to the Lions and then lost in the first round against the Rams, I believe. So I don't understand the point in drafting a rookie right now. We have all the pieces. You have Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold proved that he could do this, and he's proving it again in Seattle right now. Another great story outside of Daniel Jones, and they're not really going anywhere. I don't as just like a fan of football. I don't like that pick anymore. Like I really like JJ McCarthy. I don't think he was a first round either. I think he was maybe an early second, a late first rounder, maybe not early first round, but I think they should have focused on Sam Darnold. I really do. I don't know. That's just me. They just seem so lost.
I think it was really just a perfect storm of like the time of what had happened and everything like that. The Vikings are considered one of the most like quarterback proof systems in the NFL right now. In theory, a great offensive line, like you said, a ton of really quarterback friendly weapons. Aaron Jones, one of the best pass catching running backs in the league. And at this point, last year, I don't think anyone realized that Sam Darnold would, obviously he had a great season, but, he looked good at times in Carolina as well. There were moments where he looked like the franchise quarterback there. And I don't think the Vikings really knew if he was going to be able to sustain that level of success in a system that maybe wasn't as friendly. And obviously, all credit to him, he has. But, in that moment, it doesn't really make sense to, pay, $30 to $40 million for a quarterback when you just invested a top 10 pick into one, when, you could spend that cap space and take advantage of having a quarterback on a cost-friendly contract in other ways. But, I mean, obviously the decision doesn't look good right now. I agree with you there. But
they were talking about it on the broadcast last night. Like, this team is perfectly set up. Like, you have a great coach, you have a great defensive coordinator, you have one of the best, most explosive offenses in the league when healthy. You have a great defense, along obviously with Brian Flores, like I said before, the defensive coordinator, who I think should be a head coach eventually again. But if you know that you can compete, like, wouldn't you rather have Sam Darnold start for you as long as you possibly can while JJ's backing him up and learning, like a Jordan Love project or something like that? Like, I don't know. I know that doesn't work all the time, but we saw what Aaron Rodgers did for 4 years, won 2 MVPs, and then Jordan Love comes out of nowhere when he leaves and starts and gets a contract immediately because he's so good afterwards, and he has all of Aaron Rodgers' tendencies. And I know Sam Darnold is still young. He's 28, 29. But, like, you're in win now. You have a great chance to do something, to win playoff games. Like, why not just go that route? I don't know. I'm not a GM. Maybe they saw something in JJ
different
that
part
a lot
of
of
it
people
has to deal also with, like, look at how Minnesota's recent first-round draft picks have gone. I go back to the 2021 draft. You have an elite cornerback class. You have Sauce Gardner. You have Tariq Woolen. You have a bunch of guys like that. The Vikings double-dipped at cornerback in the first round. They got Andrew Booth and Luis Cine. Both of those guys, Luis Cine isn't in the NFL anymore. Andrew Booth is like third stringer on the Cowboys. 2022, they draft Addison, which you're like, no, that was 23. Sorry,
that was 23.
But, like,
yeah.
Yeah, 23 they draft Addison, which that's a hit. But like last year, they used McCarthy with one and Dallas Turner, who honestly, like, at this point, nobody's really talking about it. He hasn't done anything either. Like, he hasn't even got on the field. They signed Jonathan Grenard from Houston, and he's been taking all of the left edge snaps. And so I think if you're Kwesi, you think, okay, 4 out of the 5 first-round picks I've made in the last 4 years have had virtually no impact on the franchise, right? We can't afford to have a top 10 pick, above anything, and have another first-round pick that we just basically light on fire. So I'm not saying it was the right decision, but, like, from a GM standpoint, I can understand how you'd want to not, one, shed the cost, and two, commit industry malpractice by using a top 10 pick on a backup quarterback. But again, you could say that goes down to the scouting department for not realizing, what you had in Sam Darnold early in the season too. So
I mean, we can come back to that topic, obviously, about the GM and stuff, like go a little deep dive into that eventually, but just like
for that too,
yeah, I'm seeing the NFC North, and Jalen, you can pitch in on this if you want to. Like, you guys are in a very hard division, and the Vikings are not looking like they're going to be able to compete.
They look like the worst team in the division.
Right.
They do.
Like, Caleb Williams is taking off. He's having a great year. Mm-hmm. Jordan Love has a great foundation around him, even though his coach is very passive. And then you got the Lions. I mean, Jalen, do you think that, like, you're a Bears fan, and you see the Vikings and the Bears play all the time. Like, do you even think the Vikings have a chance at, like, competing with you guys the rest of the year right now, or is it just like, what do you think?
I mean, for obviously coming from a Bears fan, I mean, any team can compete with us for real, because there's not a real, like, I'm not gonna say there's not no belief, but the Bears are always in some kind of hard, tough game where they got to gruel and battle it out. Like, with any team. Look at what they did with the Saints. Like, that just tells you right there, like, no one can not beat the Bears, but on any given Sunday. But that's just the NFL in general. But I'd say they have a chance. I'd say everybody has a chance. I mean, the Vikings defense is really good. They have Jettas, and they fix that offensive line situation, or would they just start to be able to, like, give him at least a couple more seconds to throw? That changes everything, right? So, I mean, they have a team built around, like, outside of the quarterback. They have a team built that can compete. and go to the playoffs. I mean, they did it last year, and they had Sam Darnold doing it. I mean, obviously, no one's saying J.J. McCarthy is going to be Sam Darnold, but Carson Wentz isn't a bad quarterback, right? Like, he's played in the Super Bowl. Like, he's played in the playoffs, right? I mean, doesn't he got a ring even though he was hurt? Like,
yeah, he was the sole reason they were in that position.
Yeah, he was the reason they were in there. Like, you know, he got hurt against the Rams in that week, and the wild card. So I ain't gonna say that they don't have a chance, but I mean, it's highly and is a very slim chance though that they can compete in the NFC North. But anybody can compete with the Bears. I mean, that's just, you know, any given Sunday with the Bears. I mean, they could play well against somebody like what was a good win. They beat the Commanders, but damn near lost to the Saints, right? So yeah.
I think this version of the Vikings cannot. I think the Bears right now would beat the Vikings by like 3 touchdowns. I think the Vikings in their
that's what I'm saying.
In their best form, I think the Vikings. Yeah.
I mean, we saw what happened week 1.
Definitely got to say their best form, right? Like,
yeah. I wanted to throw one thing out that you said Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in football this year. This may be a little of a hot take. I wouldn't even have him at number 2 this year.
You're crazy.
I would have probably him at like 3 or 4. I would have Puka and JSN over him this year. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I mean,
JSN's leading the league in receiving yards, and Puka's leading.
I'm
not disagreeing, bro. It's just Jay. Like you give,
I know,
dude. You give Justin Jefferson a quarterback. Like he's
Justin Jefferson could really use a quarterback like Sam Darnold, man.
Yeah, like
right. No, literally.
All you have to do is go to the tape last year and look at what he did.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he was literally destroying everybody. It wasn't even fair last year. But I mean, same with Jamar. But whatever.
Yeah.
Look, neither of them have quarterbacks right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he has Joe Flacco now, but we'll see what he does this week. Real quick about my Chargers before we move on. Real quick, I just want
they look great,
quick
man.
Shout out, Joe Alt. When Joe Alt is on the field, we are the best team in the league right now. I'm just saying. Listen, Tom Brady said it himself. When you give Justin Herbert some protection, he's the best passer of the football in the league, and it's proven. Now I'll say he's been making a lot of dumb Josh Allen decisions, throwing the ball in double coverage. Sometimes I will say that he's been really annoying about that. I don't know why. It's very uncharacteristic of him. But John Harbaugh has been letting them throw more, which is great because you got all these weapons now. But you give him some, like Joe Alt's in the game. Can you imagine if Slater was healthy? I'm serious.
I think that's the best tackle duo in the entire.
It wouldn't even be fair. It wouldn't be fair.
I think that's the best tackle duo in the AFC. Those guys, yeah.
And then you got the defense with Jesse Minter guarding, like, you know, leading them over there. Derwin James being Derwin James. I know he was hurt for half of last night, but he'll be back against the Titans next week. Like, we're so unlucky, and people continue to say, well, you give Justin Herbert all these excuses, and I'm like, dude, he's putting up 2,000 yards right now with a banged up O-line and still a banged up Joe Alt. He was still hurt last night. Like, our bye week is like week 12. We all Chargers fans complained about not having a late bye, and now we actually need a bye earlier. Like, it's just the little things, man. If Slater was on this team, we would not have lost this or last week. Well, this week technically still against the Colts. I don't think we would have because there was no protection. I don't think we would have lost against the Commanders. I don't think we would lose a game right now. I really don't. I'm like thinking in my head. I'm like, dude, so many issues we're having are because of protection. He's the most hit quarterback in the league. Give him some protection, and we're gonna have some very uncomfortable conversations in the future. Now I want to move on. All right, we're here to talk a little bit of basketball because we went a little bit over on that topic. But look, we're on basketball talk now. NBA so far. I'm gonna read a few stats off to you guys, and you tell me how impressive this is. Hold on. Now I know the Jazz had just this spectacular night against the Clippers the other night. The Clippers look pathetic. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. Kawhi ruined their whole mojo. But I'm going to read these stats off to you. A lot of unbelievable games we saw the past few games. SGA 55, and we'll get to that in a second. 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Aaron Gordon 50 points, 10 threes.
10 of 11 from 3.
I want you guys to picture yourself in 2020. Okay, Aaron Gordon on the Magic struggling to keep his position, and you tell someone, hey, in 5 years, he's gonna go band for band with the greatest point guard of all time, and again in one of the first games of the season, and almost win and hit 10 threes and score 50 points. You would have thought I was crazy. Okay, Luka, 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Steph, 42, 7 and 6 3-pointers. Ant-Man, 41, 7 rebounds and 5 threes. Wemby, 40 points, 15 rebounds and 3 blocks. That man's scary. Maxey, 40 points, 6 assists. Embiid looks like a joke. Giannis, 37, 14, 5. Sengun in 2 overtimes, 39, 11, and 7. And BJ Edgecombe, the generator, 34 and 7. Now, I just want, those are the craziest stats so far. We're gonna get some more tonight, obviously. But anything that kind of stood out, Jalen, I'll start with you this time because you're the basketball guy. You work at the NBA. Like anything in your head that just like you're like shocked about and you're nervous as a Jazz employee right now. Like who are you nervous to play in the West right now? Because you guys are in the West, but very hard West, by the way. Now, who are you like very nervous to play? Like who can you not wait to see, but also don't want to play at the same time?
I can't wait to see Cooper Flag. That's the thing. I can't wait to see Cooper Flag. But the most scared I am to see is the Spurs. That performance, what I saw from Wembanyama, and we was watching it live too while we was watching the game in front of us, and then we had monitors as well, so we can watch other games. Right. And I was watching that game with Wemby, and he did the reverse dunk. That was cool. What got me the most was when he dribble, crossover between the legs, step between the legs, step back, jump shot, foul on the other, and then just sat there at 7'5" doing that. That's a problem. That's a problem. They don't even have De'Aaron Fox on the floor.
I forgot about that.
They didn't even have De'Aaron Fox on the floor. They didn't even have forgot what his name was, but he always got the pink hair.
Sohan.
Yes, they didn't have Sohan on the floor. Dylan Harper came off the bench. He looks good. He had 15 in his debut. Like, they're probably the most scariest team in the league, other than obviously the Thunder. Obviously, but the Spurs are the most dark horse team in the league, and they could literally make a finals run if Wemby is playing like that. Because no one can stop him. No matter how big, no matter how tall, no matter how many people you throw at him, he has the handles of a guard at 7'5", and the athleticism to be able to dunk and reverse dunk like we saw, and step back from 3 and hit it. That's why I said he was number 1 player to me in the league, but I was clowned for it.
You still will get clowned for it, but listen, there's one person that I know can stop him. His name starts with a G, ends with an S. He's the Greek freak, the Greek god, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, I might be a little biased, but last year he held him to 10 points. Don't forget that. The second game he had like 20-something, whatever. Giannis still had 30. But that's the one person I know that can stop him. I think that's the only person in the league. Like, I'm not kidding. I genuinely believe Giannis is the only person in the league that can actually stop Wemby from doing what he did the other night. He made Anthony Davis look like a peon. Now look,
Anthony Davis took him to school. What was it? His rookie year.
Yeah, when he was on the Lakers. Yeah, look, I think people forget what Anthony rolled.
And then Wemby had an off season.
Right, with the Monks. Now listen, I think people forget Anthony Davis's like role as a defensive player. He's not an on-ball like defense. Like, he's a rim protecting big who can switch on to any guard and flow with any bigger guard. In my opinion, I think that's fair. A fair summary of his game. I don't think he can't guard Giannis. He can't guard Jokic, like straight up. He can't guard Embiid straight up. He can switch. He can rim protect. By rim protect, I mean he can chase down stuff and jump with you. Like, he can't physically on ball guard you. Like, we saw that the other night, and Wemby put that on display. and I never thought I'd see that out of Anthony Davis. He didn't look good. Now, one thing I wanted to hit on, me and David had this conversation, and Jalen, we were going to get your opinions on this too. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, everyone complains about free throws. Well, stop fouling him, okay? And that's my opinion. I see him getting fouled. I said that's a foul. You go rewatch that game last night. You got fouled pretty much every time. Now, David, you're pretty sick of these narratives of him being a free throw merchant, even though, he gets all these fouls and, get to the free throw line 27. I mean, he had two overtimes. He had 6 quarters, obviously. He didn't do it the first time. The first game, he didn't get that many free throws. Now, last night, it's a big deal. Give me your thoughts and why you don't think he's a free throw merchant.
I think that, box score watchers and, people who are just like fair weather fans kind of look for excuses to like try to tear down players who are elite at doing one certain thing. The thing about SGA, which in my opinion is the biggest reason why he's been able to elevate his game to the point that he has, is because he's the best player in the world when it comes to like body control and naturally initiating contact. Like Jalen Brunson was able to take that superstar leap because he's so good at just naturally initiating contact while he's moving. And that's something that SGA has always been good at. I saw SGA play at Kentucky, and he was as smooth with the ball, operating then, controlling the pace, controlling the tempo as he is now. But the whole free throw merchant narrative is just completely false, in my opinion. I was talking about this yesterday, but you take every single scoring champion of the past 10 years and you compare them to SGA last year. SGA last year, that's when everyone said he was a free throw merchant. That's when everyone said that, you take away the free throw line and he wouldn't even be an all-star. SGA last year in the regular season averaged 8.6 free throws per game, right? You compare that to Luka last year, or 2 years ago, averaged 8.8 free throws per game. Joel Embiid won scoring champion in 23. He averaged 10.5 free throws per game. Now, Steph Curry, kind of the outlier just because he takes so many threes, he doesn't get fouled as much. The 2 times that he's won scoring champion, he hasn't had that many free throws. But you go back even further, prime Rockets Westbrook, when he won those scoring champions, he averaged 12 and 13 free throws per game the 2 seasons that he won it. So, none of those
go back as far as Kobe and Wade.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you want to go further, Russell Westbrook, when he won scoring champion, he averaged 11 free throws per game. Even DeMarcus Cousins, when he averaged 29 points per game, prime Sacramento Kings DeMarcus Cousins, he averaged more free throws per game in that season than SGA did this year. The thing is that Shai, on average, takes a perfectly normal amount of free throws, but he'll have maybe 1 or 2 games where he completely controls the pace, where, he initiates a lot of contact, and maybe he'll have a few free throws more than normal, and everyone will just assume that's the only way that he can score. But it's just a way for people to try to make it seem like he's not as good as he is, when in reality, basically every elite scorer that's ever won scoring champion, outside of, like I said, Curry and maybe a couple other outliers, you could basically make the same free throw allegations for, because every elite scorer goes to the free throw line, drawing contact, initiating fouls. That's literally, it's part of the game. It's one of the most essential parts about being a volume scorer, is being able to score at all 3 levels and be able to finish through contact. It's just such a tired narrative for me, man. And it takes away from what them, the Thunder and all them have been able to accomplish. I remember what you were saying. It's Jimmy shot 18 free throws, I believe it was, in their first game.
In the first game this year. And then Benedict Mathurin shot 17 last night. What's the issue?
Nobody cared. It's stupid. It really is stupid. And I understand 26 free throws is a lot, but it's double overtime. And it's well, then don't foul him. You know what I mean?
He's getting fouled. I'm watching the game. I'm he's okay. He'll get smacked. There's a play when Nembhard tried to hook him, foul. There's a few plays where they jump at him, and when you jump and Shai Gilgeous is in front of you, he's going to jump with you and try to take the shot. It's a foul. It's in the rule books. It is a genuine foul. Now, Jalen, you've seen Shea play up front multiple times last year because obviously they come to Utah. Tell me, like, your first-hand experience of like seeing Shea Gilgeous-Alexander play basketball. Like, is it really that daunting to where like everyone just has to complain about it?
To the point to where people are like complaining to it at that rate, I don't think so. I think when you watch it on TV, you kind of only see it for what it is from the whistle, and you can only see so much. But when you're there in person, obviously watching something in person is a lot different than watching it on TV. But it kind of feels like he has the little kind of like a Jordan-esque kind of type of his game. Kobe.
I see Kobe.
Well, Kobe got it from Jordan, but
right.
It's like you kind of look at the resemblance of both guys in him. And back in the day, they didn't call a lot of fouls. Jordan would be on the line a lot too, because that's just the way the game was back then. It was a lot physical, but the way the game is now, a lot of the fouls that they call are some are ticky-tack, but some are fouls, and it's really. I've seen him warm up. He's kind of got, like I said, he got that Jordan kind of Kobe-esque kind of game to him, and you can see it a lot, especially in person, because where he stands on the floor, and he facilitates too. He facilitates without the ball too, so it's pretty. He's a very special player. He's very special, and he was the reason, obviously, they won the championship last year. But very special.
Look, I think Shea's the best point guard since Curry, his MVP. I do. I think he's better than Harden and Westbrook. People call me crazy for saying that. I'm like, well, the resume speaks otherwise. He has the ring. He has the same MVP.
Win. Prime Westbrook really didn't win. That's the thing. Prime Harden.
Prime Westbrook was a 6 seed. Westbrook was a 6 seed as MVP year, and Harden was the 2 or 1 seed, and they didn't win. They went to the Western Conference Finals, lost to the Warriors. Steph was winning every single time. I mean, Shea's doing that now. He's better. He's better than everybody in the league right now, in my opinion, at that position. Now, I know that Wemby's going to take off, but I genuinely believe Shea has a very good shot at winning another MVP. Like, I don't think I want to see that. I want to see someone else win it, obviously, but like, I think he has a great shot.
I think this is Wemby's year for deep.
I think right now
Wemby's defense player of the year.
Yeah. Wemby a good deep boy for sure. 3 blocks a game, counted easy.
I wanted to talk about the East for a second because
go ahead.
One of the more like not talked about games. Well, I'll talk about the Bulls, but one of the not more like talked about games. Dude, I'm fucking like wearing the. Come on, man. Like that game was amazing. Like the Magic and the Heat. It was back and forth. There were 25 lead changes. The Heat had a big lead, and then the Magic came back, and it was closer basically the whole fourth quarter. I think the Magic have a legitimate shot to really, really make some noise this year. That trade for Desmond Bane was the trade that every team. It was a classic example of a team being pretty good, but like missing that one other piece. And I do think Desmond Bane. They paid a high price to get him, but you put a slasher and a shooter like Desmond Bane between 2 guys who they got Wendell Carter Jr. still, but which it's okay, but like but like the rest of the team I really, really like. They finally the KCP thing didn't work, but they're turning the keys over to Anthony Black, the 6th overall pick from 2 years ago. I liked him a lot coming out of Arkansas. Desmond Bane at the 2, Franz at the 3. Franz, one of the best slashers in the league, in my opinion. Like elite off-ball movement, needs to improve his shooting. But Paulo, one of the more underrated stars in the game. And then you have a Heat team that honestly, I think the Heat are pretty underrated as well. Nobody's really talking about them, but they made one of the more underrated moves of the offseason, getting Norman Powell. I think Norman Powell is going to do great things in Miami. He had a great season, averaged 22 with the Clippers. You put him next to Tyler, Andrew Wiggins, Bam. I really am a big fan of Kel'el Ware. I think he's
I love him, dude. He's so good, dude.
I think he reminds
He's
me a
gonna
lot
be
of
all
Walker.
defensive.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Walker Kessler. I think he's
sure.
going to be a 20-10 guy. They re-signed
Absolutely.
Davion Mitchell, who I like a lot, like
Forgot about
kind
him.
of like a Colin Sexton type of player.
Yeah.
So I like the Heat a lot this year as well. I think the Heat are more of like an underrated team that like maybe could like make like a 6 or like a 7 or an 8 seed and then maybe like upset a team in the first round. But I genuinely think the Magic can be a top 4 team in the East this year. I really do.
David, I think you're forgetting about a game, bro. You know a game I'm talking about. You're forgetting about a game, bro.
Which game are you talking about?
Oh my god, you're missing one, bro. Think about it for like 5 more seconds.
What have we not talked? I don't want to like.
Come on, bro. 2019 first, second pick, bro. Zion and Ja going at it.
Zion and yeah, that's
bro.
Right. Yeah, you look good. You look good.
I'm trying to listen, man. That man stays healthy. He gonna really show y'all what he's about. He's gonna be the best in that draft class.
Big word was
here you go.
Behind him. I want to put all those Taco Bell commercials behind us, man.
You're going to, bro. You're going to. You know why? Because I picked him up in fantasy. I drafted him in the 4th round, and now he's going to be healthy because I have him on my team. Listen, Ja Morant looked absolutely spectacular. I thought he was going to look kind of trash because he's been so on and off. Last year he had a kind of a down year, but now he's back to his normal form. It looks like. And Zion Williamson, bro. I'm trying to tell you guys, it's time. It's time. Like they play the Spurs tonight. This is a big game for Zion tonight. He gets to play Wemby. He gets to really showcase, like, hey, I was the first number 1 overall pick too. Like, I can show you what I can do. Like, I'm really that guy. Like, I'm telling you.
Last time he played 65 games, he averaged 27. It's just, can he stay on the field? But here's the thing about the Pelicans, bro. It needs to be this year because nothing that a lot of people are talking about. They have not been a well-ran organization these past 2 years. We were talking about earlier, that DeJounte Murray trade looks awful. You gave up Dyson Daniels and 2 first-round picks. That looks bad. This year, they obviously they took Fears, but then they traded their first-round pick next year to move up to get Queen. So they don't have a first-round pick next year, which could be a wildly irresponsible
They gotta
move.
go.
They don't have Brandon Ingram anymore. It's Zion's
team now. They gotta make the second round or something, bro. They gotta make the playoffs. They gotta be
into a big one with Chauncey Billups.
Forgot about that topic, man. Listen, I just wrote a story about this today. Actually, fun fact. And Damon, what's his name? God, I already forgot his name.
The Cavs guy with LeBron, right?
Damon Jones, the former Buck, former Cavs, former Heat, former Celtics, all of that. He's been around the league, but him and Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier and maybe 30 other people.
I heard that Kevin Garnett had.
Kevin Garnett, I was gonna say Kevin Garnett was reportedly in those games as well.
And Gilbert Arenas was in it too, but he got caught early and he snitched. I'm pretty sure. I don't blame him. But listen, that is weird, man. You're making $9 million a year as Chauncey Billups, and you're going underground to play these card games where you're cheating. First of all, you got these X-ray, ultra red lenses. And you can see through the cards. You got these machines in the back just turning for you. And you cheat. What are we doing, Jalen? Can you imagine if Jalen got caught just like betting or something on an NBA sport or something like that? Say if he did that, and he hasn't. But I'm saying, like, he would be fired off the spot. Like, for a coach to do it?
Porter.
Right. No, literally. Not for a coach to do it? Come on, man. Like, you're putting your whole team, whole organization, whole league in jeopardy because you are selfish and want to get more money than $9 million, bro. Can you imagine?
The crazy thing is, I seen him last week. Last week he came in for a preseason game, and I was at his press conference. Me and one of my coworkers was sitting in the front, and he was, how they talk and look around, and when they look at everyone while saying an answer. I was sitting right I was right here in the front. And then his desk was right in the middle, and he looked over at us. And I was like, I literally just seen that dude last week, and he looked me in the face, looked me in the eye, and that was probably the closest I've ever been close to the mafia. I was like, so you telling me I literally was looking. I literally basically touched eyes with the Mafia.
Dude, it's always so funny when you knowing what you know now, you go back and you look at like a player's like lowlights. Like when that whole Emmanuel Class A thing happened with the Guardians, and you go back and you look, it's like, you know, a popular pitcher bet is like first pitch ball or strike. And if he bet first pitch ball, the fucking ball would be in the dirt like 2 feet like before it got to home plate. Or like it'd be like a wild pitch like a foot above the catcher's head, and it's like you're like, wow, this is like blatantly obvious. Like I saw something, it's like a bunch of Terry Rozier turnovers. If like you bet the over on his turnovers, it would just be throwing the ball right to the other team. Like off of inbounds pass. He had an inbounds pass where he tried to throw a lob to Bam. It fucking hit off the top of the basket support. Like it's crazy. Like, and you're like, wow, like it was right in front of us the whole time.
Look, I don't understand how. I mean, it was pretty obvious that Terry Rozier was betting.
That dude sucks, man.
He's good. He was betting. He just missed a lot, and you can just tell. But I don't know if you guys saw this picture earlier, but Chauncey Billups, like out of his hearing or whatever from today, he's wearing what's LeBron's little what's his name? What's his manager's name? Not Rock.
Rich Paul. Right?
Rich Paul. He's wearing his little. He was wearing the company's name on his sweatshirt. Rich Paul's little
Clutch Sports sweatshirt on.
he had a Clutch Sports. Hey, it's a lot of speculation.
Oh, that's great.
He had a Clutch Sports, a brown Clutch Sports sweatshirt on, and everybody's saying like, "Hey, that's a warning shot. Like, y'all better come get me before everybody come down." I don't know. Clutch Sports kind of weird. Why is Chauncey Billups wearing that? Is he a part of Clutch Sports? I don't know. But, look,
good question.
We're gonna be following that along very, very much. But we got a big event coming on tonight for the first time. We haven't had a lot of baseball recently, but we got our last topic of the World Series. Quick baseball talk with David and Jalen. Now, I want to ask you guys this. I got to be honest. I got 3 questions for you guys. And the mediator is baseball talk. You know how this goes. I ask you guys one quick question. This first quick question: do the Blue Jays stand a chance? I don't know. Does someone give me a true, honest baseball fanatic answer? A baseball realist. Jalen, I'm gonna start with you, Jalen. Do they have a chance?
Yeah. They.
I don't know if you believe that, bro.
They do have a chance because the lineup is a lot better than what the Dodgers have seen.
Okay, that's fair. That's true.
Up and down the lineup.
I agree with that.
Lineup, and they get Bo Bichette back tonight. He's back.
That's big.
He's playing second and batting fourth, so he's back. So now you get that, and then especially how the Blue Jays pitching has looked, especially their bullpen. I mean, their bullpen has been lights out, but this is going to be probably it could go 5.
I don't think they'll get swept.
It'll go 7. That's how I'll say
I don't think they'll get swept. I think they can take a game. I definitely think they can take a game. But it's like the pitching for the Blue Jays was the thing that I thought was going to hold them back. I mean, Scherzer looked like a shell of his former self this regular season. Kevin Gausman kind of had a down year. But we've seen guys like, I mean, Trey Savage stepped up in a big way. He's actually the game 1 starter for today. I don't know though, dude. This is the thing that is worrying me about the Blue Jays is that the blueprint for beating them is like it's evident. You got to strike them out. They have a lot of guys who are big, like swing and miss guys. Vladdy historically has been kind of a bit of a free swinger. The same thing with George Springer. Both of those guys were in the top, I believe it was like 90th percentile in strikeout rate the past few seasons. And there's nobody. Obviously, I said that the Mariners had the best staff in baseball, and I still believe that to be true. Like in terms of like best 1 to 5. But I mean, you're going to face guys who are just pinpoint artists with like pitch location and, just hitting their spots and mixing up speeds. You got to go against Snell, Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow. I mean, Shohei didn't even look that good as a pitcher this year. He would only go like 3 or 4 innings in the regular season. And after seeing what he did to the Brewers, man, like, I don't know. And it's like, you got like, even if you like, let's say you survive like, you like a bad Yamamoto start or a bad Glasnow start, you got to go like Blake Trinian, Tanner Scott, Alex Vesia. Like there's just it's just going to be real hard. Yeah,
I will say they have a chance, but it's a very slim one. I will say it's a very slim one.
I think they take a game. I think they. Yeah. I don't think they get swept. I think this is way too potent. Vladdy and Springer, Ernie Clement has like a 1100 OPS in the postseason. They've done what they needed to do from like the bottom half of the lineup as well, with guys like Dalton Varsho, Alejandro Kirk has been fantastic. But it's a different beast playing the Dodgers, man. It really is.
Now, my second question, I kind of want to spin back around to this question because I think this is a very important question to ask. The Dodgers have had a week off. The Blue Jays have had 4 or 5 days. Now, does that play a factor? Like, does that make it worse for the Dodgers, or does it depend on the team? Like, does this make it better for the Dodgers that they have so much rest, or does it make it a little bit worse because they're going to be a little bit rusty maybe in game 1, or, maybe they'll come out swinging like, we all expect them to? Like, does this amount of rest sweeping a team, does it really affect you in the World Series, you guys think? Like, do you guys think, like, it's going to be very bad for the Dodgers in the short run?
I think it depends. I honestly think it depends. I remember when I was watching the ALDS, the Mariners and the Tigers, and during that insane 15-inning game, the announcers are saying the people that are the happiest about how long this game is going on is the Blue Jays, because they're watching these two teams tire each other out, exhaust all their resources. I mean, hell, you had Jack Flaherty and George Kirby pitching in the 15th innings. Like, you had starters going in relief innings. And the longer the series go, the more teams are going to reveal about themselves, the more you're going to be able to see if you're the teams that are playing them, and the more guys that are going to, have to be used. I think it can go either way depending on execution, but it's like you definitely don't mind that the Blue Jays had to go to 7, because you get to see all the guys, you get to see everything they have. You get to, they have to utilize all their assets and everything like that. But again, on the other side, a lot of players and teams in like years past have said that they kind of enjoy being able to play right away so that the rust doesn't kick in. I mean, we saw like after the Braves won the World Series, everyone thought they were going to repeat. I mean, they had in 2022 one of the best regular seasons of all time. They set a franchise record for most wins in a single season, and then they came. They had a week off for the wild card, played the Phillies and got punched in the mouth because the Phillies had to play in the wild card against I believe it was the Marlins, and then they came in and they just absolutely dominated. And maybe there's something about having that momentum and just being like, okay, we just played now. We don't want to stop playing. We strike while the iron's hot. And, for a team like the Dodgers, that's one of the reasons why I don't think the Blue Jays will get swept, is because they'll be able to carry some of that momentum from that Game 7.
Yeah, you basically just answered on the head, said what I was going to say, basically. I'd say, because both teams had extended rest. If you think about it, what is a day or extra or a day or two extra? Both teams had extended rest, so you're going to get everybody fresh. Everybody's going to be ready to go and fired up, ready to go. And it should be a good series, but it should be, it could get dominated by the Dodgers very quickly, depending on how Blake. It all depends on tonight too. It also depends on the first few innings, right? Like, how does Blake Snell look, right? Does he look like he did against the Brewers? If he looks like he did against the Brewers, then you got Yamamoto tomorrow. If he looks like he did against the Brewers, then you could probably wrap it up in 5. So,
now my last question: we all know that the Blue Jays are the underdogs Not because of rest or anything, just because the Dodgers have just a better team. Who or how many people are going to like who are the specific people on the Blue Jays who really need to have a good series? Like, for example, the Brewers, you really used Christian Yelich. Okay, we really could have. Okay. Just a quick example. Now, who on the Blue Jays needs to step up, like off the bat, first game in LA, like who needs? Oh no, is it first game in Toronto?
Yeah, Toronto. Toronto.
They have the better record, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So first game in Toronto. I mean, you got all the people behind your back in Toronto, all of Canada, pretty much. Who needs to step up, and why? Like on the Blue Jays.
I would say, I mean, outside of Vlad and Springer, it's got to be Bichette. Like, they're putting a bat on the bench, to bring you in. Like, you were the missing link that they had in the past, series that they needed? They needed you against the Yankees, even though they, Vladdy played out of this world, right? They needed you last year against the Mariners, even though, Vladdy and Springer carried them to the World Series, right? So you need Bichette. And if you're batting in a cleanup spot, you need to clean up, right? You need to come out ready to go because you had the most extended rest. You should be ready to go. You should be healthy to go. And I think it's going to come down to Bichette needs to hit well, and the starting pitching needs to pitch well, very well, in the first 4 innings of every game. Because if you let the Dodgers tee off in any of the first 4 innings, you can just pretty much wrap it up. Because even if they do have a great bullpen, you down so much, and their pitching is so great that they can hold you. So,
yeah, I'd say for the starting pitching, just getting through the first rotation is going to be, if they can get through the first rotation with no runs, I'd consider that a win because, like I said, you got a bunch of guys like Chris Bassett, Jeff Hoffman, Shane Bieber, who I always forget is with it's so weird thinking about Shane Bieber not in Cleveland, but Shane Bieber, and then obviously like Kevin Gausman, Trey Savage. Those are all guys that we know can be good, but haven't had, seasons up to the standard. Scherzer's in that category as well, getting through that first rotation. But in terms of players in the lineup, I think obviously I agree with Jalen. Like, I mean, Vlad and Springer and obviously Bichette coming back, they're going to need him to produce almost instantly. He can't really afford to have, an 0-for-4 rusty game with 2 strikeouts. But in my opinion, it's the other guys, the guys in like the middle half of the lineup, like Alejandro Kirk, who's been batting cleanup for most of the playoffs, Dalton Varsho, who's been extremely up and down in his Blue Jays tenure. Like I said, Ernie Clement, one of the biggest unsung heroes of the postseason, a career like 240 hitter who's had like an 1100 OPS in the playoffs. Like those guys in the middle, are they going to be able to convert in like the big moments? Like Nathan Lukes, who has come out of nowhere, has been batting second. Like those guys are going to be the ones, like the supplementary pieces, the guys that are, trying to get on base and like set the table for like Vlad and Springer and everything like that. Are those guys going to be able to perform? Because the Dodgers won the World Series last year. Obviously, like Mookie, Peralta, Mookie, Freddie Freeman, like Shohei, all those guys played a really big role, but it was like Max Muncy had a great postseason. Will Smith had a great postseason. Teoscar Hernandez arguably was the best player for the Dodgers last year, and they won. Now, I mean, all those guys are stars in their own right, but, you put them on the Dodgers, they're the secondary players, right? So it's like, it's all there's every team that's ever won the World Series, there's always a guy that, has been like an unexpected rise. Like, the Braves won the World Series a couple of years ago. Fucking Jock Peterson had like 5 home runs. You know what I mean? Like, like you go back to any team that's won, like when the Astros won. I mean, you had guys like, Jeremy Pena and like Mauricio Dubon having good at bats. It's like there's obviously like the stars are always going to matter, but it's like the guys who you don't think are going to like step up, like Jorge Polanco, for the Mariners. You know what I mean? That's another great example. So I think it's going to be up to like the guys from like the 6 through the 9 spot if they can deliver.
Well, hey, We got a big game tonight. World Series begins. This is one of the times where we're gonna have one of the last times we're gonna have hockey, baseball, basketball, and football all in the same weekend. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great World Series. I don't think it's gonna be close personally, but that's just me. Maybe a gentleman's sweep, like you guys said. But that was a fun show, guys. We're gonna get into our final thoughts. Anything about sports you guys want to talk about? Anything life related? Doesn't matter. Jalen, go ahead.
Just congratulations to Tony Vitello going to the Giants. I know my mom really doesn't like him because I went down there to, I was going to try to play there coming out of JUCO, but it didn't never come to tuition. But congrats to him. I got to meet him, and he was really energetic guy, really passionate about his players. He really puts you in a mindset of you're him every time you are on the field, and that's what those teams played. Like you had, what was his name? You had a couple guys like when they won Christian Moore. He came from there and played very well. Drew Gilbert, that everybody remembers that walk-off grand slam that he had against Wright State, turned the whole place up. Jordan Beck, all of them, he really put that confidence in them, like, you're him and we can talk. And if you talk ish, you can walk the walk, and we can walk the walk. And he really built that Tennessee Volunteers baseball program up because they were down there at the bottom, towards the bottom, like down there with Missouri and them. And he really shot them up, boy. Tennessee is now a powerhouse in college baseball, and I'm really want to wish him nothing but success with the Giants, and hopefully, I can meet him again one day.
And Drew Gilbert has the unique pleasure of saying he was involved in a trade for Justin Verlander. It was pretty cool. He was part of that trade when he went back to Houston. But anyway, my final thoughts, man. We didn't really get to talk about it. Like, shout out the Bulls, man. That was a sick game. That was a great game, man.
They look good, right? Yeah.
25-4 run in the third quarter that we ultimately blew. But, like, man, dude, Nikola Vucevic, 28 points, 12 rebounds. Like, my boy Modest, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks on 10 of 15 from the field. Like,
and a body.
I'm telling you, man, like, I think he's going to MIP this year. I could not be higher on my boy Matas.
Even though I wear my Jazz colors, I still represent my team.
Yes,
I love
Red,
my
man.
Bulls, right?
Yes, sir. Third, dude. 30. The road to 39 and 43 is off and running, man.
For the Jazz, we'd love to be 39 and 43. We love that.
Yeah, for real. No, the Jazz love that.
Love that,
Dude, we made a bit of a squad this year, man. I mean, Giddey looks good. Giddey had a triple double. Fucking Trey Jones looks like he had a nice game. Like Ayo Dosunmu, like I don't know, man. Some about this year feels a little different, and I'm ultimately setting myself up for failure thinking that. But at the very least, we got some guys some young guys that I can rally behind now. So I'm excited to see what the Bulls can do this year.
My manager wanted Buzelis here instead of Cody Williams. He wanted Buzelis, so
wow. Yeah, that looks like an all-time. Dude, I'm telling you, he was the number 1 recruit in the country at the start of the 23 season, and then he had a shoulder injury and it fucked this whole thing up. And then he went in the Ignite and everything. But I'm telling you, man, like that guy was going toe to toe with Cooper Flagg in scrimmages and shit. And like, dude, he can develop right. I mean, and I'm a little biased too because like he went to my rival high school. I met his brother a couple times because he's from Hinsdale, so he's like maybe like his high school is like 15 minutes away from mine, so it's like kind of the hometown thing. But like it's nice, man. It's been a while since we've had like a real like true like face of the franchise type of dude who like actually is from Chicago we can rally behind. So we'll see what happens. We might have a little squad here. We'll see.
Ace Bailey looks really good.
Hell yeah.
All right. Look all right. Listen, my final thought. I'm gonna tell you guys. No one believes me when I tell them this, but the Bucks are extremely deep this year, and I really think that this is Giannis's 2018 LeBron year, where he can just do everything for everybody. He can facilitate, he can score. He's got his shot back up. His free throws are getting better. He's like extremely locked in. He does not want to lose. He doesn't want to have like another first round exit season. He would rather have another Game 7, round 2, Eastern Conference semifinals, Game 7, than lose in the first round again. Like, he is so dead set on making the championship or the Eastern Conference championship and losing in competitive fashion. Like, he's completely okay with that as long as he knows that they can compete. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of hurdles. Okay, the East is wide open, in my opinion, outside of the Knicks and the Cavaliers, and maybe even the Magic, like David was talking about earlier. But I do think if you have a Giannis on your team, you have a chance at pretty much anything. So that's my final thought. I know you're not going to agree with me. You're Bulls fans. I understand.
They had one of the best.
I'm very, very confident that this team will make some noise. Very confident.
They had a great offseason, man. I mean, seriously, like they got Gary Trent for like 2 years, $7.5 million. They re-signed AJ Green. They got Cole Anthony, Miles Turner. Like they filled out the rotation real nice. I'll give them credit.
Might have lost them, but it'll wrap.
Oh, did you guys lose me
for a second?
Wi-Fi's taking the hiccup.
Yeah, I think a little bit. Yeah.
Right at the end of the show. Right?
Hear me, hello?
Man, right at the end too. That's tough.
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Okay, there. All right.
Yeah, there
are you sure? Can you hear me now? Are you sure?
Good. Yeah, we got.
Yeah, you're good now.
You look better now.
I don't know what happened.
Instead of looking like
it's a little delayed, but
you look like you're filming from an Android there or something.
Well, listen. This is Shot of Sports, everybody. I'm gonna get out of here before my Wi-Fi just takes a shit on me. But it's been fun. It's been great. It's been fun. We're gonna be back on Tuesday, and yeah. Let's do it at the same time. There you go. Yeah, now we're good. Hey, Shot of Sports, everybody.